Cooking Next is a new boy here on Saturday Kitchen this morning. He's the boss of the healthiest fast food empire, Leon. It's Henry Dimbleby. Welcome to the show, Henry.
Good morning.
Now, on the menu for you, what have we got? Meatballs.
We sell a lot of meatballs in Leon, and today I'm going to do a twist on a recipe my mum showed me, which is a spiced meatball.
Yeah.
It's kind of Indian style, although we're using beef,
yeah,
so it wouldn't be typically Indian.
Yeah.
We're going to mix the beef and the pork. Using the pork, it's got a bit more fat, a bit more flavour, a bit more unctuous texture.
Yeah.
Coriander, cloves, a bit of turmeric, a bit of chilli powder, garlic. Going to blitz that up, put it in with an egg, and then put in the...
I know you want to get on with that and do the spice mixture as well, of course. Now, meatballs are a big favourite of your family, of course, because your mother was as a famous cookery writer.
Yeah, my mum,
well.
she sold millions of books, and in the 80s, in the middle of the recession, she was asked to write a book about mince,
yeah,
which she called Marvellous Meals with Mince.
By Jocelyn Dimbleby,
By Jocelyn
of course.
Dimbleby.
Yeah.
And actually, they're bringing, for this downturn, they're republishing it 20 years later, so in September it's coming out. So a whole new generation of impoverished people can enjoy mince.
Now, I suppose you haven't been on TV before, because your father is... David Dimbleby.
Yes, he is.
So, literally, there
he cooks.
Can't you tell from the voice?
He's actually
oh, look at now. Oh, there you
go. He cooks a mean omelette.
Does he?
Yeah, very, very good omelette.
Where is he?
So a family of foodies then.
This morning, actually.
Right, so I'm frying off the onions. We've got a spice
bit
in
of coriander. Sorry, I messed that up before. Spice in there. We're going to put garlic in and the egg.
Yep. Okay, there you go. And I've got the red board underneath, so you want to do that to put your stuff on as well. I'll move that out of the way.
Much.
Do you want that garlic?
Yeah.
There you go. Leave that out of the way. Okay, now we're going to do a little salad with this. We've got some almonds, a few leaves, some vinegar, mustard, a bit of lemon, and some herbs.
I love salads that have very herby little bursts of flavour through them. So I like to chop the herbs nice and small, and they go right through the salad.
Now, tell us about Leon then, because where does the name come from, first of all?
The name is actually my business partner John's dad's name, and we were looking for a name that just kind of summed up a Mediterranean, sunny, relaxed family thing, and also looked good. And David didn't look so good on a sign, so we went for Leon. And there's a beautiful picture of his dad in the 60s, sunning himself when he was. He used to be a pilot, and he was on holiday in the Med. There's a picture of him in all the restaurants, Leon sunning himself, looking very handsome.
Now, it's kind of the idea of the service is not new, because it's done in a lot of fast food restaurants, but you're the healthy option, aren't you?
Yeah, so the idea was, we kind of thought, why does fast food have to be terrible food? There's no reason why you can't take things and do them quickly and make them good. So if you come into a Leon, you'll find people standing behind a counter. There'll be chutes, but instead of burgers coming down the chutes, you've got meatballs, you've got fish finger wraps, you've got baked fries, you've got really good grilled chicken with salsa verde, just proper food. Yeah. And
what started off as one, now you've got, what is it, 11?
We've got 11, 10 in London and one in sunny Bluewater in Kent. Right. So I'm really kind of working this meat, because we're going to stuff it with the cheese. You want to get it quite firm of texture, so the cheese doesn't seep out too much.
Now, you don't call yourself a chef, but you were sort of trained when you first started off, didn't you?
I worked
when you were younger?
I worked with a guy called Bruno Lube. In the Four Seasons Inn on the Park Hotel. It was my first job, and I was, as you might have noticed, a bit too messy, and
I guess
not quite fast enough. But it was actually a fantastic 9 months. It was the only time when I actually went for 10 solid days without seeing sunlight.
Yeah.
So I'm normal, isn't it? So I'm just going to roll the balls like this.
60 days of that going.
Yeah, you end up with big eyes. That's what
It is extraordinary. You go down, in the break, you kind of have your splits and you do lunch, and then you go down to this room in the bowels of the hotel with various sprawled characters sleeping, and in those days, smoking, watching TV. Yeah. And then you come out at 2 in the morning. It was quite a life.
Yeah. Right, now you've mixed together pork and beef, but I'm assuming you could do one or the other.
You could do lamb,
lamb would be lamb,
you could do beef, you could do pork. Mum likes to do them with all sorts of different kind of surprises in them, so she'll do them with mango chutney in the middle, I love food where there's a bit of a surprise. I like doing. I did a recipe the other day which was a chocolate ice cream with caramel inside, like a chocolate bomb.
Right.
So it looks like chocolate ice cream, but you dig in and the caramel comes out.
Sounds good to me. This is the twist to your
So
little...
this is the twist. So we've got flatten them like that, make them into balls, and then you've got a teaspoon.
I've got one, yeah.
We're going to take just a little bit of cheese. I'm using cream cheese here, although you could, if you were in India, you'd use a curd. And I'm just going to put a little blob of the cheese inside each meatball. And then we'll fold them up, and we'll roll them round.
Yeah.
And they'll melt as they cook. And then as you open them, they'll burst out this kind of oozing, slightly acidic, creamy flavour.
So for those not in London, are we going to see Leon expand, or what's happening for 2012?
2012, we're hoping to do... We've got 2 more that are almost signed. Can't say where they are yet.
Because the rent will go up.
Yeah. And the idea is, we asked ourselves, when we set it up, we just thought someone should do good fast food. So we're hoping at some stage to go abroad as well and to come outside London.
Fantastic.
Woking,
Fantastic.
please.
Whereabouts?
Woking.
Woking.
Nice.
So I'm just sealing them, rolling them like that.
Right, the reason why we use a little bit of water in your hands, it stops the meat from
Sticking
to your hands. So.
And you also want to use lean meat for this, for the beef. You don't want to have too much fat in it, because you'll get a lot of fat coming out and the cheese will ooze through.
Yeah.
So once you've...
Get the pan on for it, and some oil in.
Thank you, a bit of oil in the pan. Once you've rolled those, they take about 10 minutes in total. You just turn them over with some spatulas.
Yeah. Now, there's a sink in the back. You can wash your hands.
Thank you.
There you go.
There we go.
Well, I take it the pork's quite important. You want a little bit of fat in there to make,
Yeah,
make
you
it
need
not
a little
too
bit
dry.
of fat, but if you make it... I mean, it's very... There was something in the papers the other day. It's very hard to get the right amount of fat in mince at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want a bit of fat, but not. You don't want it so much that it kind of, the minute you put them in, you get a centimetre of fat on
You
the
can
bottom
make
of the
these
pan.
beforehand and fridge them. They'll firm up even more.
Yeah,
won't they?
exactly.
So fry those.
Fry those.
This is what you
take
end
them
up
off, and then we.
Now I'll dress the salad. Now another thing you're doing as well. Tell us about this sustainable restaurant thing that you're at the forefront of, are you?
I helped set up with some friends. Actually, Lawrence's restaurant, the Wolsey's a member. But it's a nightmare for restaurants to think about. They don't normally have time to think about sustainability. And it's an organisation that helps restaurants become more sustainable and also rates them so that people who eat at restaurants know that things like sourcing, energy, engagement in the community are being looked after. So at Leon, for example, our fish finger wrap, we used them to make sure we had a sustainable fish finger wrap.
Yeah.
But if people are interested in that, I would go to your local restaurant and talk to them. We're going to put the tomatoes in there.
There you go.
And ask them to join. So we're just knocking off the edge of the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Just losing the flavour. We're going to get a bit of juice coming out of that.
Yeah. There you go.
Bit of salt. Bit of pepper.
And then last minute,
Bit of yoghurt right at the last minute.
get your spoon.
We'll take it off. That's all right.
There you go. I don't need a spoon. Just chuck it on.
Just chuck it on. That goes on like that.
Some almonds.
Raining tomatoes.
Almonds. A little bit of coriander.
There you go. This is one of these great sort of family dishes. You can
Yeah, and you could do it with rice. You could do it with noodles. Lovely winter dish.
Actually,
Lovely
crispy
summer
onions
dish.
as well to go with
A
it.
few little crispy shallots go on top.
It's chef scrub this, isn't it? Really,
It's
this?
lovely.
You don't need to do the shallots and almonds. They're just like a nice little touch.
Yeah, you do. I made them.
So there you go, spicy stuffed meatballs.
There you go. With shallots, extra ones. There you go.
Henry, your meatballs combine lots of different elements. We've got spices, tomatoes, cream cheese and yoghurt, and that makes things quite tricky for the wine matcher. The answer lies in really fruity wines. Something like this New World Sauvignon Blanc would be terrific for a white. But I've gone for a red, and the wine I've chosen comes from Chile, and it's the very soft, very juicy Secano Estate Pinot Noir 2010. The reason Pinot Noir works so well here, where many other reds wouldn't, is that this grape has quite low levels of tannin, and its heavy, rich tannins that would clash with this dish. It's a wonderfully aromatic wine. It's really scented with red berries, plums, cherries, and a little hint of wood spice. So instead of a very tough, full-bodied structure, here we've got lots of fresh red berry fruit, and that's going to work really well with the meat, with the spices, including the chili heat and the tomatoes, but crucially, it won't clash with the cream cheese and the yoghurt. Henry, this is a lovely recipe and quite a challenge for me, but I think this wine rises to it. I hope you like it.